Hello, this is Jed Morgan and welcome to the 8th in the series of WebExes covering the installation and configuration of the IQPBX platform. We're going to look at some menus that are available once we've configured the system in its basic form. We have the system up and working, hardware, trunks, in-out, extensions, etc. And we'll look at some of the other options available to us. So looking at the menus that we be examining, we'll be looking at SMS settings, DISA, conferences, paging, DNIS, pin user settings, callback, speed dial, music on hold. I know we've touched on music on hold, but I'll just have a quick look at that again for you, and blacklist. Also available via the link on the right hand side here. This link, click on this link or copy this link into a browser, download a zip file with all sorts of documentation, manuals, sales, etc. Useful documentation, tech tips, all there available. So we'll carry on and we'll come out of the PowerPoint. I'm going to leave the PowerPoint and get straight into the system. So we'll look at the settings. First one is SMS settings. We support SMS messaging. We can enable SMS to email, providing we've got GSM gateways installed. Email to SMS, so we can send an email and it appears in SMS. Also we can use a POP3 server to enable SMS. We can use our own SMTP server settings server to send emails. So if you configure a POP3 setting, IQPBX will download emails from the mail server regularly. Once downloaded, the emails will be deleted from the mail server, so it doesn't store them. Once downloaded, emails will be deleted from the mail server. So you enter your email address as per the instructional informational icon, enter the password, configure SMTP server settings and also your POP3 settings, and you can use encryption if you like. And you can test your SMTP settings and also test your POP3 settings. Save your configuration and apply changes. That's SMS. DISA. We understand DISA is direct inward system access. And what we do is we create a DISA. This is one I created earlier. So we'll look at this one. So we gave it a name, we'll say the bosses. This is the bosses DISA. So they use an inbound route to come into DISA to access the system directly. They use a PIN number. Response time, if they've dialed an incomplete or invalid number or option or PIN number, and digits timeout. So for them to dial a digit, etc., is 5 seconds. So if they don't dial a digit in 5 seconds, then DISA will disconnect. Which trunks are we allowing to use the DISA facility? I've copied over our ISDN2 here, save the parameters and apply changes. And then if we look at an inbound route, we've set up an inbound route for DISA. So we would use a DDI on the ISDN, indicate which trunks the DDIs are set on, and the destination would be office hours and out of office hours if you require for DISA. And which DISA do we want to use? It would be the boss's DISA. Save the settings, apply changes, and that's DISA configured. Conferences, the next heading. We have predetermined conference rooms. You can add a conference room if you wish to add further ones. So a default one I created earlier, edit. So the conference room number is 640. The administrator for the conference, who can kick off users in the conference and lock the conference, or you can set none. You don't have to have an administrator. So there's also a PIN number for joining the conference. So we'll save settings and apply changes. That's your conference room set up. And then if we look at an inbound route for an example, we have a conference set up via a DDI, I beg your pardon, via a DDI. So a DDI number, we've named it conference, which trunks do we want it to come in on, and the office hours destination is a conference room, and which conference room do we want it to go to. So quite straightforward, setting up conferences. Save the changes, save and apply changes. Conferences set up. Paging groups, we can look at paging groups. Small paragraph there just indicating which Yealink models of phones are actually supported, officially supported. Other SIP devices may work with this feature, but they would need testing and just clarifying whether they do work with the paging. So we would simply add a paging group. Self-explanatory really. The paging group number is 630. Duplex, if you wish to all the extensions or the receiving parties to reply without lifting the receiver, you can select duplex, where they can just simply answer the page as it comes through the phone, or you can just have it so that they can only hear the page. So that's an option to answer the page automatically. Select the number of extensions in the paging group, add some extensions. That could be a sales paging group, for example. Reception could page sales. Save the changes. Save and apply changes. Save and apply changes. And that's a paging group. DNIS. This is where we can give a name to an inbound phone number. So, for example, one I created here. So a DDI, we've named it mainline. So this is our mainline number. This could be sales if it was a DDI. It could be sales or accounts, or it could be you could give this DDI number to one of your best customers, and it could be your best customer's name there. Enable DNIS, save, apply changes, so that when a call comes in on that DDI number, the name will be displayed as where the call came from. Okay, if you don't set a DDI number, it will simply show the name given to the trunk. So for example, if we were to say add a DNIS and it was our analog trunk, we could call that analog. Call that analog. Save. So a call comes in on the analog, it will be displayed as analog on the phones. If there's no DDI assigned, it will assign a default name, no matter where the call came from. Okay, DNIS. Pin user settings. Looking at the pin user settings, this is where we can say, okay, this is an example. We have a extension security. So we've dialed 2580 is a pin number. We're going to call it security. Which line can they dial out on there? We'll say PSTN out, our analog trunk. Save. Apply changes. So there we have a pin user assigned 2580 is a pin number. The access code is *89. Prompt, you can have a separate prompt for an entry of a pin number, and you can have a separate prompt for a failed entry if they get the pin number wrong. So again, you can record these yourself in custom prompts. Here in custom prompts you can record them and call them your own pin prompts if you like. And so using *89 as an access code, you'll be prompted for a pin number and be able to access that route in order to make an outgoing call. So pin user, callback settings, next on the menus. If you'd like to use callback feature, please make sure that it is enabled in the inbound routes on the inbound routes setting panel. No callback rules need to be set if the trunk is able to call back with the caller ID directly. So you can check allow all numbers as indicated by the instructional informational icon. So we can add a callback number. So a callback number would be 9, or a route access 0797 3456 456. Save your callback number. Add a callback rule. So restrict 1 digit before dialing, and we don't have to prepend. Use the trunk name, whichever trunk you're using for the callback, and save. So we created our rule for a callback number and the trunk allocated to use to call back on. Apply changes, save, apply changes, callback settings set up. Next, the speed dial settings. We'll look at setting in speed dials. So the feature code for speed dials is *99. So to locate a speed dial or use a speed dial, it'll be *99, and then we'll use the source number. And so *99 just tells you in the instructional informational icon there, and we add a speed dial. Don't forget to add the outbound prefix dial, so your 9 or your trunk seizure code, and the source number is the memory location number. So the first one we would use 001. Destination number would be 90. Mobile number, save, apply changes, and done. You must manually add the speed dials. There's no way of importing or exporting the list via .csv file or anything like that. What we can do is, with the Yealink phones, we can use an external directory, for example an LDAP server, where we can locate thousands of numbers and names, and the Yealink and possibly other phones support external directory access, so they can do a search on the phones for any number or name located on the external server, LDAP server, or whatever external directory you may have. Okay, so there are facilities within the phones to access external directories. Other than that, the system just has the speed dial resource here, and you have to manually implement them. Touching on music on hold, as we probably discussed earlier, upload a music on hold prompt just to confirm the format of the file it's got to be in and its size, and browse to the file, upload, save changes, save and apply changes, do a refresh on the list. So once you've uploaded the file, if you do a refresh on the list, it will populate in here. Music on hold prompts. And the last one I want to cover in this heading is just gone back up the menu a little bit, was blacklist. So what we've said here is this is where we can blacklist phone numbers. We can blacklist phone numbers. I may have covered this in a previous WebEx, but just to confirm, we have a number, a phone number. It's an inbound phone number that's we do not want to call us on an inbound basis. We can save that, apply changes, and this phone number is blacklisted on inbound, so we cannot receive calls from that number. Okay, that brings us to the end of this WebEx. We'll move on to some of the system features and system settings to do with external storage, backup, restore, call logs, etc., a bit of diagnostics, reset and reboot, and we'll cover firmware updates in the next one. Okay, many thanks. I'll speak to you on the next one.